Hey Angelo, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. The week has been pretty tiring, a lot of work to get done, but I'm feeling good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thanks for asking, and I am super excited for this one because it's totally different. So, yeah, at the beginning, I guess the place to start would be if you could just introduce yourself, like briefly, what you currently do.
Yeah, my name is Angelo. I'm a 21-year-old entrepreneur, and I help regular 9 to 5ers make passive income online.
Yeah, that's great. And before we go deep into the transformation, our experience working together, how it was in terms of how it impacted your actual personal life and all of that, and of course your plans going forward. Let's just take a step back, and first of all, maybe if you could just take me back to before we started working together, right? How was the reality back there? How was your business back there? And yeah, maybe we can start here.
Yeah, so before working with you guys, things weren't great. Things were perfect unicorns and rainbows. It was definitely very overwhelming when it comes to the workload in and of itself because I wasn't getting any help when it comes to, just the regular day-to-day work stuff that is when it comes to the business. And I wasn't really making much sales, and if I ever did make any sales, it was like low ticket sales, which of course it's not gonna get the bills paid. So it definitely wasn't great. I mean, of course I kept putting in the work, but not having the guidance definitely caused me to get overwhelmed very quickly because I wasn't getting any help, any type of guidance when it comes to the business in and of itself. It was definitely a struggle for sure.
And before that, like, how long have you been running your business?
Yeah, I think to give you like an exact number, I would say like July 2023. I started off as an affiliate. Been running content since then.
So it's been like more than a year of your business actually working, performing when we met, right? Something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you back then, as you said here, you were selling the low ticket products, right, in the affiliate marketing space, right? So what actually made you end up in this niche and selling low ticket? Because later, of course, we will talk about all the good stuff when it comes to transition into high ticket space. So yeah.
Yeah, so what made me switch from low ticket to having a higher ticket offer is of course the money. Like we're all here for money. I'm trying to make some money. I'm trying to get the bills paid, travel more, provide for family, all that good stuff. So number one, the money, but also you just attract better quality leads as well. Because when you're just selling cheap stuff, is that you're gonna attract cheap people.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. And what were your problems, like the main problems that you were facing in terms of business before we met? Like, let's say one day before we met, what was the biggest bottlenecks of the business?
The biggest challenge I had was definitely time. Because I was doing everything myself, time was a huge factor when it comes to like the workload and everything that I have to do on a weekly basis. Not having a team to like actually help me get things done way quicker was definitely a huge challenge because like the moment we started working together, I had way more time to work on other projects and even start increasing more values and be able to, so what I'm looking for, provide better service to my clients because I have more time.
Exactly. And before that, your biggest month, like before working together, was like, give us the rough estimate. I know it's like been much different because you were selling low tickets, so the process of selling was much different. But just to give us an idea.
Yeah, so you're asking like how much time I was working every single day?
No, it's more about like the revenue side of things, like the biggest month in terms of the revenue.
Yeah, when it comes to the revenue, of course, it wasn't a lot. Like the most I made maybe in a month was maybe like about maybe $600, which isn't a lot of money if you really think about it. And I really didn't want to keep doing the whole low ticket stuff because, of course, number one, the amount of people that was attracting, the conversion rates weren't high either, and I just wasn't making as much money. So in all honesty, like me doing the whole low ticket stuff wasn't the best move for me, and I'm more than grateful that I actually go went through the whole high ticket offer.
Definitely, definitely. And when it comes to the turning point, right? So were you interested in maybe transitioning to high ticket before meeting with me, having a call with me, or all of that, or was it actually the call that makes you kind of more interested in that?
Yeah, I always had the plan to go high ticket. I just didn't know how to actually do it and what systems will have in place to actually offer a proper high ticket offer.
Okay, so that was the thing. Okay. Okay, perfect. And now, so we kind of have a good understanding of what actually happened, before the business. And I mean, maybe just last question before we go into the, what we did and what are the goals. So how was all of that like actually impacting your, day-to-day like personal life, right? Because, working in the low ticket space, like doing everything yourself, like it was a lot of work. Like I remember, speaking to you on the first call, like it was draining. So yeah, could you elaborate a little bit more about that?
Yeah, once again, just like I've said before, it was very overwhelming and very stressful because I have to do everything myself. It's like I even had to sacrifice time with my family, which is the whole reason why I'm doing this. I had to sacrifice time with family and loved ones because I have to spend more time on the business, and I'm working on the business like for multiple hours every single day, and it's just like stress, fatigue. Sometimes you even get like a lot of energy loss as well. So it's just very overwhelming overall for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And you touch on something like really important, to be honest. Like this is, the whole usually the reason why we get into, being an entrepreneur, like you did yourself, right? Is to escape, like, being trapped in the same, day to day, like boring task every single day. Just, taking the highest leverage task that actually excites you, right? And I think, the decision that you made, right? Taking most of the money that you created with a year or even more than year of the business, and allocating it into growing, like taking a risk, right? That definitely paid off for you, but taking that risk, and then actually having different people and different systems that allow you to focus on the highest leverage task for the business, that first of all will, right, allow you to grow, but second of all will actually make make all of this journey like worthwhile, right? Because then you actually are taking care of the things that you enjoy, that are the most important, and you're not taking it, your time and actually executing the things that don't matter that much but need to be done, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a huge help. Like I'm eternally grateful for the amount of guidance, the amount of work, and actually having the right systems in place. Because if not, it would have just been a waste of time, right? Like we're actually here to make money. We're here to actually grow, and without that risk, you're not gonna get anywhere in life, right? So if you have in mind and you're watching this video right now, and like you understand that you want to grow more, you want to grow your business, you want to grow your brand, you need to take that risk. If you don't put in the risk, then you won't be able to make that vision that you have for yourself a reality.
Yeah, that's well said. That's well said. Yeah, I gotta admit that that's definitely well said. And yeah, so that was all the, so we have the past is taken cover of, and now let's talk about when we first met, right? So it was like almost 5 months ago when we first met, and we decided to actually work together. So take me through like the biggest things that unlocked that switch in your mind, the biggest guidance I gave you, right? And how it actually changed, your perception on the business, what we actually did together, let's say in the first month right now. So how was the first month, the experience of it?
Yeah, in terms of the experience within that first month at least, it was really setting the right foundations. And a lot of times, even changing a lot of my beliefs as well, because I had to go from being a content creator to a business owner, right? Being a true entrepreneur. And going from that from one mindset to another mindset is learning the ability to be resourceful, right? Even if you don't have much followers, even if you don't have like a huge amount of leads, the little that you have, let's make the most out of it, right? So doing that first month and then the foundations when it comes to like the offering and of itself, the marketing strategies, but also being resourceful with what already have in terms of following and leads and things of that nature was huge. Like that first month of like setting the foundation straight was extremely important. If it wasn't for that first month, like the rest of the months wouldn't make sense because everything isn't aligned. So that first month was definitely like a month of like alignment, foundation, and building the right foundation to go crazy afterwards.
Exactly. That's definitely, and specifically in your case, right? When we were transitioning from a completely different, approach to selling, selling low ticket, through like affiliates more, without even taking the calls, all of that, to, you know, selling something really high ticket on the calls, first time. So it was like, I think, three most important things. So the first one is definitely we took a look, we both took a look at your offer, and we, switched it completely from a more of a, let's just buy this, low ticket product that's gonna allow you, of course, to get great results, to a like coaching offer, basically, being like one to one, working with people. So it's kind of taking a, I always give this analogy, taking a book about nutrition and, changing that, making that to a actual trainer that will be there with you in the gym, taking all the steps with you, and, teaching you everything, right? So that was the first thing. The second, of course, building the foundation of assets and content that we needed. And the last thing was, I think, actually, you know taking a lot of time when it comes to the sales process, right? So dialing the scripts and all of that, because also that was a big bottleneck at the beginning, because you just didn't have the experience with that. So out of those three, which one do you think was the most important, and which do you remember the most, like being the most influential?
The most influential one was most definitely the sales aspect. So when it comes to the sales calls, the sales scripts, the objections, and everything in between, that was huge because a lot of times as a creator, you kind of fall into the cracks of like wanting to be some type of way in the DMs or some type of way in the calls, and that's not making you money, right? So definitely working with you guys definitely helped me change my mindset when it comes to sales, but also give me the right systems and even better said frameworks to actually have a higher closing rate and higher conversion rate for sure. That was huge.
Yeah, definitely. I remember, I think I've told you already this like few times, but I remember first time seeing, I think it was the call that ultimately was the first close, if I remember correctly, or do I miss? Yeah, that was the call when I saw, the difference from the first call to this one. Like I knew that we are going in the really good direction with that, and the results just then showed us, because, as you said, this call was actually the call that ended up in the close, right? It was like a two-call close. So yeah, that was amazing. So that was the first map and the most important thing, right? Okay, and going a little bit, forward, when we are in the second, third month working together, what do you think was the, let's say, the thing that you thought we were executing well, like the best? So basically, I am asking you about which part of the whole process do you think was the most enjoyable, right?
I would say the the like you guys were literally in the trenches with me every week. Like the first time we got on a call, you said it like I'm gonna be in the trenches with you, and you really followed and you really stood on that, right? Every single week there was a checkup. Every single week we went over the numbers. Every single week we analyzed everything and really gave me that accountability, because a lot of times as a creator you tend to fall for the shiny object syndrome, and having you guys on my side really like aligned me and like, hey, we gotta stay focused on this because this is what's gonna generate money, not more views. So that was definitely huge. But besides that, I would definitely say as well the editing. When it comes to like the editing of itself, which was my biggest time consumer, that was huge. Like the fact that I didn't have to do that anymore, whether it be for long form or short form, I just had way more time on my calendar to, of course, take more sales calls, be able to handle clients better, but also spend time with family, which is extremely important.
Yeah, thanks. That's really cool to hear that. I actually that you think that I stood up on the word that I said on the first call, because that's actually something that, yeah, I wanted to do, right? And I say those things, being in the trenches, because that's actually the approach that you need to take if you want to give the great results and the experience also with that, right? So yeah, thanks for that. And when it comes to when we actually decided to go really hard on the ads, when we dial in the offer, dial in the sales, dial in the content backlog, let's say, when we actually run the first campaign, what was the feeling of the first closed?
So you're asking what how it felt to close that first sale?
Yeah, that first big retainer.
Yeah, I mean, it felt great. It was a great feeling. It's like almost euphoric feeling. I mean, I'm probably exaggerating like crazy, but of course, I've always had this vision, and I knew and I had that conviction that it was going to happen soon. But when it actually did happen, it was like finally, yes. Like when you're working, you're really putting in the work, and like you finally get that reward. It's like it was a great feeling. It was very relieving, and I mean, I couldn't done it without you guys for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I also remember, experiencing that with you, because I remember it happened, like I remember like it was yesterday, to be honest, because it happened on Friday night. And I remember I was sitting at a restaurant with two of my friends. And I remember just, sitting kind of, I was waiting for my order, and I checked the phone and I saw the message from, like you said, all caps, let's go baby. And I checked, the notifications, and it was there. And I was like, god damn, I told them that. And I just had, to be honest, even better experience, going out that night, because I knew that, we worked, for this, let's say, first, month. Like it was, there were some periods that were kind of like tough because of the transitioning, because of we needed to make all of those changes, all of this infrastructure, as you said. But that first sale was, yeah, one of the best feelings when it comes to working with clients, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. That was huge,
And
and the fact that of course, you congratulated me and you saw the progress. That was huge as well.
definitely. And yeah, so that was the experience. And I guess, right now, what are the goals? Let's say, you are an ambitious guy, I know you. When you look at how your life changed, how your even skills, developed from when we met in January to right now. Like, what are the goals for, let's say, the end of the year?
Honestly, bro, is to just get bigger and better. Honestly, just getting bigger and better and investing way more into the business and just growing overall. I think within these next few years, I see myself like hosting masterminds and even doing like huge challenges and bringing on subscribers and things of that nature. But when it comes to until the end of this year of like 2025, it's really just full on foot on the gas and just more volume, more content, more sales. Really just pushing it, just get bigger and better and faster as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you would say, because I know, when someone is ambitious, when someone has this drive, like there is no ceiling to them, right? Like it's just growing, being better every single day. And I love that. And I will definitely attend all of those masterminds that you will create in near future with you. And so yeah, I think that's everything I kind of wanted to touch on. And I guess the last question, if someone is watching this right now, maybe in the similar situation with you, right? Selling not in the high ticket space, maybe, having problem with offers, wanting to free up more time, to spend, more time with the family, and to be actually like a business owner, not, just another, like, replacing 9 to 5 to for a business, right? Uh, yeah, if someone wants that, right, and is on the fence of working with me, right, what would you tell them?
Three words: just do it. Like, I could not stretch this any longer. If you really want somebody that's going to be in the trenches with you every single week, just like I said, that's going to guide you, that's going to give you that accountability, but also have the expertise to give you all the resources and value that you need to actually transform your business and become a true entrepreneur. Honestly, I highly recommend Michael. Like, I couldn't say any better. Like, working with them was great. It was a great experience. um it's just a matter of like whatever you say, applying it, and I saw results right away. So it's like I can't like even debate with you, because it's like what we're doing, it's working. So, in all honesty, I highly recommend it. And if you're thinking about it, don't think about it, just do it.
Thanks, man. So we are ending with like a Nike commercial. Just do it, and I love it. So yeah, thanks for having this talk with me today. I think it was lovely. I think the people will also really appreciate that. Getting that perspective. And yeah, I wanted to also say that working with you was basically amazing, and I hope to do even crazier things in the future with you. And yeah, if anyone wants to find you, of course, there will be a link in my bio. And yeah, thanks again.
Absolutely, man. If listen, if you guys want to work with him, just do it. Don't think about it, just do it. But yeah, man. Thanks, Michael. It was a great experience.
Yeah, thanks. See ya.